So AI is everywhere, but it's already been in our homes for years. Smart assistants have been really prevalent from the major tech companies for the last 10 years because they were originally thought to be the future of tech. We learned that they were not, and for a long time tech was actually really dumb. So this got me thinking, I've had a smart speaker in my house for a while. It is just a little HomePod mini from Apple because I mainly use Siri in my life. I have Apple devices, and so it just seemed like the most logical explanation. But whenever I'm cooking in the kitchen, I'm usually watching videos, reading different recipes, setting timers, looking up conversions, and I thought that it might be useful to have a smart display in the kitchen. Now, I haven't had a smart display in a while, and I was actually wondering, basically the only ones that are interesting is the Amazon Echo and the Google Home Hub. Now, both of these devices have been updated sporadically and to different levels of quality. So I actually wanted to put all three smart home platforms together and see which assistant is the best. None of them have been truly updated with actually smart AI. So they're all kind of working on outdated technology, and I figured I would do this video before they eventually all get updated, probably this year or next year, with a lot more generative AI smarts. The Google Home ecosystem and the Siri ecosystem are not really smart, up-to-date AI. They both use old, outdated architecture, so they're not going to be like the ChatGPT that you know today that's really conversational and generally smart. There are some Amazon Alexa devices that are a little bit different. I was added to the beta, which enables Alexa Plus, which is a new level of the Alexa service. Now, Alexa Plus is a bunch of different things, but it basically is more of a chatbot than Alexa has ever been. So that way you can just use natural language with the assistant and it will most likely understand you. I say that this is still behind where we're going to be probably in the next year, because while you can talk to Alexa in a really conversational way, it doesn't really know a lot. And in my head, having a really great home assistant is one that can do a lot for you and answer a lot of questions really quickly with a high level of accuracy. So with that being said, I actually put together a list of 12 just common questions that I think a lot of people might be asking of these assistants that will ask it to do a bunch of different things. So I'm actually going to ask every assistant all of these questions, and I'll show you the way that they respond. Starting now. What's the weather?
It's a warm and sunny Tuesday afternoon in Austin. Currently 87 degrees with a high of 95, and there's a 49% chance of thunderstorms later today.
Right now in Austin, it's 91 degrees and mostly sunny. Today, it'll be mostly sunny, with a forecasted high of 92 and a low of 75.
Expect some clear skies today. Daytime temperatures will hover around 91 degrees, with overnight lows around 75.
How long will it take me to drive from Disney World to New York City?
The drive from Disney World to New York City typically takes about 17 to 18 hours, covering approximately 1,100 miles. Most people split this journey into 2 days of driving.
By car, the trip from Walt Disney World Resort to New York is 16 hours and 19 minutes with light traffic.
Traffic to New York from Walt Disney World is light, so it should take 16 hours and 19 minutes via I-95 North.
Alexa, what's the temperature right now?
The current temperature is 87 degrees.
The current temperature in Austin is 91 degrees.
It's about 88 degrees outside.
Can you turn off my book lamp? Can you turn my book lamp back on? Can you turn it back on? Alexa, can you play KUT 90.5?
Playing KUT on 90.5 FM.
Russia's war in Ukraine is a serious threat.
Sure, streaming cut from NPR.
He's the director of policy and research.
Here's 90.5 KUT News, provided by iHeartRadio.
But being a lesbian doesn't depend.
Alexa, are you actually smart?
I'm pretty sharp, if I do say so myself. I've got enough knowledge to fill a library, and I'm always learning new things. What's your definition of smart?
I'm definitely smarter than a refrigerator, although some refrigerators are getting real smart these days.
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
Alexa, when does Best Buy in South Austin close today?
The Best Buy in South Austin closes at 9 p.m. today. It's open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. on weekdays, including today.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Here are two options. Oh, there's a problem. Please try again. Best Buy on West US 290 Highway Service Road is open today, from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Would you like to hear the last one?
No.
Okay.
Alexa, when is the next holiday weekend?
The next holiday weekend is Memorial Day, which will be from Saturday, May 24th through Monday, May 26th, 2025.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Saturday isn't a holiday. Not here anyway.
Alexa, set a 45-second timer.
45-second timer started.
Got it. 45 seconds. And that's starting now.
45 seconds, starting now.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop my timer.
Your 45-second timer has been canceled.
Okay, stop that timer.
No problem. Consider the timer canceled.
It's canceled.
Alexa, what's 3 cups in ounces?
Three cups is equal to 24 fluid ounces.
3 cups is 24 fluid ounces.
3 cups is 24 fluid ounces.
When is sunset today?
Sunset in Austin today will be at 8:37 p.m.
Today, sunset is at 8:36 p.m.
Sunset will be at 8:36 p.m. today.
Okay, so as you can see, that test was actually really interesting. I honestly went in with like some preconceived notions of exactly what was going to happen, and I was actually kind of wrong. On one hand, Alexa is very good at being conversational, but then on the flip side, it is also kind of giving you loose information or just making up information, which is not very helpful. I figured that Google would actually be the smartest because it's Google and they're like the knowledge company and they have access to everything on the internet. And there was a couple of moments where Google actually did not provide a very clear answer and it pulled up a Google search twice, which especially on the hub is not a great experience because this screen is actually pretty small and the entire ecosystem hasn't been updated in a while, so it's actually pretty laggy, so it's not something I want to like tap around and like scroll on. Siri, on the other hand, was actually a pleasant surprise. This version of Siri is not Apple Intelligence. They have not updated the speakers with that level, so it's not particularly conversational, but I would actually say it provided pretty nice sounding voice responses because since it doesn't have like any screen besides the buttons on the top, it cannot rely on providing you visual information. And I think that that's one area that Apple seemed to put a lot of work in, where everything that it chooses to say to you is actually pretty natural sounding. That being said, it also failed on a couple of basic requests for just general information that is available either on the web or just on Apple Maps. So out of all of these platforms, I've actually been doing a lot of thinking, and I think the one that I'm going to use in the kitchen is actually the Google Nest Hub. There is a hope that it's going to be updated with Gemini, which will make it a lot more conversational and smarter in the future. And I just really like the actual design of this hardware and the size of this screen. It does a really good job at being a photo frame that will match its surroundings, like lighting wise throughout the day. And just having a screen in the kitchen is really useful. Hi, hello, Editing Grayson here. I actually needed to update because after I filmed this video, I was using the Nest Hub in my home. Everything was working well, and then it flipped. All of a sudden, things were really I mean, even more laggy than they were, and I couldn't use YouTube on the device. It wouldn't respond to me half the time. There was just a lot of really awkward moments and bugs where it just kept telling me that things weren't supported. I made sure that it was connected to Wi-Fi, I made sure that it was updated, I restarted it multiple times, and nothing really seemed to get it working back in normal order. And that's when I went to Reddit and a bunch of other forums where everybody else is having the same issues. It seems that the Nest Hub and the Google Assistant ecosystem is on the way out the door, and during this transition, Google is just rapidly depreciating features of the Nest Hub, which is not great for the user because we're not getting any warning of this and we don't know exactly what's happening. So I actually ended up taking the Nest Hub back because it was already too unreliable and too slow and disappointing, which I was actually really sad about. So right now I am currently kind of assistantless besides using my phone and other things. So that's my big update to this video, but everything else I still stand behind. Siri was able to answer a lot of the questions the same way that Google was, but things like timers and recipes and conversions are just a lot easier to understand when I can read them and see a visual. So I think that's why I'm actually going to use the Nest Hub in the kitchen. Now, Amazon Alexa, I have a lot of problems with this device. The app on your phone is actually really confusing. If you wanted to use Alexa to control your smart home devices, it's very difficult. I spent like at least 45 minutes playing around trying to get scenes set up and trying to get devices connected and in the right rooms, and it honestly was too much effort that I didn't go through with the process. On the Google Nest Hub, it is very different than what you experience with Apple Home and with Siri, but it is smart because you can actually connect a bunch of apps to the Google Home app, and then it will pull your settings and your devices and your scenes from those apps in a way that was just very easy for me to understand, and I was able to build scenes relatively quickly. The only caveat is that you have to have all of your smart home scenes set up in other apps before you set them up in Google if you want it to be fast. And then Siri, I've been using Apple Home for a long time. It has its limitations, but it is very easy to set up and it's very straightforward, and you don't have to go a bunch of different places to just do some simple smart home things. But then on the flip side, you're locked into Apple's ecosystem and you don't have a screen. With all of that being said, the state of smart homes is not good. And I've made videos about this in the past. I want to make more videos in the future. Setting up smart homes is really difficult. Understanding them is difficult. Controlling them is difficult. But once you get everything together, it does make my life easier. It is so nice having automated scenes and automated settings across my house that I don't have to manage. But that being said, the effort is a very, very intense thing to get into, especially if you want to do it really, really well. So for today, I'm not really happy with any of these platforms, and I know that companies know that. Smart home platforms are usually the biggest issue that people have in the smart home world because the individual device manufacturers do a great job. There's a lot of great thermostats and light bulbs and smart home appliances that you can use. It's the controlling experience where it really lacks. And I understand it. Companies have not been able to monetize these platforms and these services of offering a smart home platform, but they have trained all of us to expect it and to use it in our lives and to invest in these platforms. So I hope that these companies invest in turn, because right now it is a pretty broken state of affairs. And even though all of these assistants were able to answer my basic questions, there's plenty of moments where they can't. There's plenty of moments where there's a misunderstanding or it just takes too much effort to use. With that, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead. Obviously, you can hear me talk for a long period of time, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.